Off to the races. Hey, what's good, LeBron? What's good? You know what I mean? Wanted to touch on some of the subjects I discussed on our Lady Chan's channel. Shout out to Lady Chan. Very good channel. Very good interviews. Yeah, man. That entire situation, all the press, like now you see, okay, well, so Fury's going underground, right? Media blackout, right? He's doing that. And now Wilder's doing all kinds of media. I was good. B&B Boxing News was good. Almighty Fan. Willie Lynch was good. AD was good. Talk about Charlo. I got a new fan. Well, if you've been paying attention, Danny Davis was good. New Country was good. Jamie was good. If you've been paying attention, they've never went along with it. Neither of them, to my knowledge. I forgot which is the Charlo brother that said that, man, it wasn't no conspiracy. He just got his ass beat. I think that was Jamal. Jamel, they mad at him. But it's like I don't really give a shit what code anybody has or what code they live their life by. I don't care. Like, there's this, you got to stay on code. Well, what's being on code? Being full of shit? Is that being on code? That must be what it be. That must be what it is. Like, nobody got time for that bullshit. I was good. Raider was good. SSB. You know what I'm saying? Lennox was good, man. I was just talking to Chan Lennox about how, like, yo, Tyson Fury seems awfully jovial for someone who's lost a lot of money. A lot of money. And in this sport that's so spontaneous where anything can happen, Tyson Fury, in his own words, said that Deontay Wilder could take him out at any time because he has that kind of power. He's awfully jovial for someone, awfully chipper for someone who just missed out on what could have been $150 million. And I guess that I'm one of the few people that finds that alarming, that finds that suspicious. I just can't figure, like, your dog, this is a dangerous sport. You aspire to work towards fighting for those kinds of purses. That's what it's all about. You try to get yourself in a position as best as you can to get those opportunities to fight for that kind of life-altering money, because not many people could say that they would have fought in a fight worth that much money. And this guy, the day after he finds out he's not going to get that money, he's doing cannonballs in a pool. That didn't strike you as odd? Odd? Like, yo, look, you know what I mean? Like, I guess different people deal with grief in different ways. I was good, Karma. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Karma. He must know something that we don't. Because I'm like, yo, if somebody told, you missed out on $150 million, bro. Yo, look, man, I might strip butt naked, jump off that balcony and hang onto a tree. Like, yo, I got to deal with it somehow. Like, what you mean? What you mean? I lost $150 million? What you doing, man? Man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's wild out here, man. It is just wild out here. Very reminiscent of Bo versus Lewis. I would say so. Like I said, these are prize fighters. These are pugilists. I appreciate that, Don Ricardo. These are prize fighters. These are pugilists. They literally aspire to work towards these moments when they can fight for those kinds of purses. So you see a pugilist, a prize fighter, who finds out, I'm not going to get the 75 million. I'm not going to get to fight for this purse. I have to deal with him again. And you're not even blasé about it. You seem happy about it. Just telling you, man. Shoot, motherfuckers be getting murked for less than that. Live right now. I'm just posting this link to Twitter. Live right now, talking about whatever. Talking about whatever. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of weird. I find it strange. Raider, the novela seems to be written out. Eso es lo que es. Eso tiene que estar en Univision y Telemundo con Lucero y Keite Castillo y Thalía y Eric Estrada. Dos mujeres, un camino. It's a WWE move, bro. See, ellos son unos mentirosos. They're a bunch of liars, man. That's all I'm saying. That you got guys, they work their whole careers. They may never get to fight for that kind of money. They may never in their entire career get to fight for half of that kind of money. You got a guy misses out on $150 million payday. The next day, he's doing cannonballs in the pool. He's eating cheesecake and posting it on social media. Like, you realize you're missing out on $150 million, right? And you just, so what? I'm Tyson Fury. That's some weird shit, man. Dos mujeres. Oh, Cat gonna play me. I was watching Cat on the I don't know the title, man. Christine, In the Ring with Christine. Shout out to Christine. She got a good show. I was watching Cat, man. Cat over there chilling. Dos mujeres y un camino. Fury may be scared to know if he's the best. I mean, like I said, the situation looks to me, the way he's dealing with it, the read that I get from him is I didn't lose anything because I was never after that. You've already come to terms with this because you never had to come to terms with it because you were never going to fight that guy. So regardless of the monetary value of a Joshua fight in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, and 2021, that was never an issue for you because you were never going to fight him. So why would you be bothered that you're missing out on all this money when you knew the whole time it was never going to happen? That's the only way psychologically I can reconcile that reaction. Because from where I'm sitting, if you told I'm missing out on $150 million because of this guy, well, cats stay trying to play my flannel shirts, man. My flannel shirts is life, B. My flannel shirts is life, B. Wilder and Fury running. That's what I think, Bones. That's what I think, Jane Bones. They run a game, bro. They run a game. And the view of it that I have is you approached Fury while he was still obese. You got it. You approached him while he was still morbidly obese, 300 and something pounds, probably still sniffing coke. Remember what Deontay Wilder said in that press conference? He said, I pulled you out of retirement. When I came to you, you were a bent house. What do you mean he was a bent house? What do you mean when you came to him? When did you come to him? When did that take place? Before the Cephas Fury fight, presumably, because he was still fat before the Cephas Fury fight. He started working his way down en route to that fight. So if you approached him, it would have been before that fight. It's not the craziest thing in the world. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say, SSB. That's what I'm trying to say, SSB. It's scamming. It's scamming. And he did say that. I'm going to make a video about it. I've been meaning to, but there's been this inundation of news coming out, so I got to try to cover as much as I can, as fast as I can, and I like naps. Wilder thought he was slick and got surprised. I don't believe that. See, like Cat probably still feels that it's a fight. And I think that a lot of you out there still view it in that scope where it's a fight. Whereas to me, it's not a fight. It's the whole thing rigged, whole thing from beginning to end. And the only thing that you did not anticipate was the pandemic, because who knew in the year of 2020, that we would go into lockdown? That would be the only part of it that you couldn't have planned around, that you couldn't have anticipated. Hey, what's good, Leo? Ring, what do you think of the Jermel situation? I think that ultimately we all have different ideologies. Jermel's, he has expanded his horizons, and some people choose to think outside of the box. Some people choose to think inside of the box. And if that gets those people where they want to go, so be it. They think that oh, I'm on code. No, you're a fucking loser, and this is how you live. But that's your problem, not mine. Vince McMahon couldn't have come up with it. I'm trying to tell you, man. Mel is off that LDB. Yeah, but really, look. Remember, Cat did one of the Charlo brothers cursed out Blue Blood Sports? This was over a year ago. One of them cursed him out, talking about, yo, he an idiot. He beat him up. He like this been going on. They was regardless of what you feel about the boxing, and regardless of what you feel about just all that different stuff that we talk about. If you've been paying attention, they never fell in line with that narrative. They never fell in line with that shit. Neither of them, Jamal or Jamel. They never fell in line with none of that shit that them cats be talking about. This cat told Blue Blood this and that, like, yo, that dude's an idiot, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? They asked another one of the Charlo brothers, yo, what you think about Glovegate? And they just said it outright, yo, the dude just got his ass beat. It ain't no conspiracy. You just got your ass beat. They have never fallen in line with none of them narratives. I've been good gone, but has the format changed? No, it has not. Metalitin, hitting them with the chair, I meant to say. What happened to the Charlos? Well, in Wilder's rant, where he talked about privilege, Jermel Charlo showed up in the chat, and he said, it's not about race. Skills pay the bills. That's what Jermel said. Because of that, people are saying that Jermel broke the code, that he's off code, that like that. Basically, what they're trying to say is he going against the grain by not falling in line with Wilder's narrative. And as you can imagine, now they want to cancel him, as if that's actually going to work. It's not going to work. You know why? Your subscriber base, for the most part, does not spend money on boxing. Thus, you do not have the power to either cancel or activate anyone. If you did, Bruce Trempler would not be on Twitter saying that the second fight flopped. Going against the PBC, I ain't even going to put it all on them because it's good. I don't want to put it all on them, feel me? I don't want to put it all on them. I like Jamel. I still like Jared Hurd. I think he's probably going to get beat up, but sooner or later. Because this the way he's been looking has been weird. But there's fighters over there I like. One or two. The Code of the Samurai, Leo. Try number 3, Donaire Inui number 2. Yo, Julius, try number 3, Donaire Inui. Oh, yeah, I'll go for that. I could go for that. You know, like it's a thing. They got like this mental Jedi mind trick to where they think they're like, oh, we could cancel. No, you know why you can't cancel somebody? Because you had to be spending money on that person in the first motherfucking place. And if you wasn't, and they wasn't relying on your revenue stream, you don't actually have the power to cancel shit. You can sit there on social media and talk shit, like I'm talking shit right here, but that's not going to affect his paper. It's not going to change his fight. Jermel, I mean, that's because that's what it's about. It's about skills. Like, look, some things, and I say it all the time, some things are too stupid to argue about. I'm not going to sit here and argue about how that tribalist, like, nah, bro. Like, you just on some inferiority complex type shit to where you think you got to constantly get coddled and reassure yourself. And you need that reassurance all the time because you want some insecure shit. That's what that shit is. If you constantly need to be fucking coddled all the time, bruh. You just want some other shit. Remember, Jay, illegal streams count though. Don Ricardo, what do you think about the possible Jermel versus Spence? I see Spence calling out Canelo, but Jermel would be easier to make and more realistic. Well, I mean, because it's in-house, it's a possibility. However, I believe that this is cyclical, meaning Jamal will move up to 68 at some point. Jermel will then move to 60, at which point Errol will move up to 54. This could be as soon as 2 fights. As soon as 2 fights. Because Errol can't make 47 forever. Do you think, honestly, based on the script, I think Wilder's supposed to win the third fight. Based on the script. I doubt Spence will ever. Yeah, he ain't gonna fight them guys, man. He ain't gonna fight. Remember, that was why they ain't fight Lara. Oh, cause like, bro, like, all right, dog. So you basically telling me that cause you cool with that cat, you ain't gonna fight him. That's some weird shit. Only in this generation have I seen that. Mark, you fucking bloodsucker, get the fuck out of here. I doubt Spence will ever. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna fight them. I don't think he's gonna fight them. Hey, what's good, Tyrese? You watching the circus? Nah, I'm not buying that shit, man. I'm not even like, yo, I mean, it's like, why am I supposed to watch that? There's nothing on that card for me. There's nothing. Floyd versus Jake Paul? Nah, bro, I'm old. I'm gonna go to sleep. And when does that does it come on? If it comes on in the afternoon, maybe I'll take it in. But that's exactly what I'm saying, Eric. You know what? I'm gonna put money on Wilder winning the third fight. It's WWE, bro. Look, let's put it this way. If I'm right, Wilder will win the fight. If I'm wrong, Fury wins and Wilder will go away. So you guys, there you are. You can't lose. You're probably right about weight movement, but because Al doesn't have to do business, doesn't Al have to do business at some point if he wants to stay in the business? No. He's got enough guys there. Look, I mean, there's a dire situation in the light heavyweight division, right? Jean Pascal just got popped for a fourth drug. The WBA baby belt that he had is now in the air. You basically have 2 ponies in the show now at 175. Used to be 3. And the last time Marcus Brown fought, it was on FS1. So if you aren't sending him out to other platforms, even though you have no one for him to fight, no belts for him to win, these guys are stubborn. They're stubborn. I hope Wilder loses because he is about to be entirely insufferable if he wins the fight. Can you imagine? Like I said, we view it in different scopes, man. We view it in different scopes. You view it as a boxing match. I view it as entirely scripted from beginning to end. I did a video on that. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. It's the last it's not the last upload, it's the upload before that with Virgil Ortiz and Igis Kavaliauskas. But if Pascal was fighting Jack, wouldn't the belt be up for grabs with Jack? And yeah, but that's all in house. Now it's in the air. It's all the way in the air. Pascal, if he ain't been stripped yet, he about to be. So now what you got to do is go to the WBA's rank standings, look at who's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and if it ain't a PBC fighter, well, they lost the baby belt. Crawford really fighting Lopez. What's your opinion on that? What Lopez? Josecito Lopez? What Lopez he fighting? He in Dubai. I don't know about him fighting nobody. What fight in June are you most looking forward to? All them shits. Yeah, what Lopez you talking about? What scripted is a bit much, but yeah, it's not a bit much, dog. Errol Esch's fights were scripted. This is what I said earlier on Lady Jam's live. That like I don't know why people think rigging fights is so difficult. It's actually pretty easy. Yeah, like the whole fight can be a sparring session of sorts until you go down in the decided round that you're gonna go down. It's not that difficult. And bear in mind, we are talking about multi-million-dollar fights. You got guys like me and you that get up every morning and we ain't making $1 million, but we still get up. So you think these two motherfuckers can't script a fight for a few million? You better wake up. Cat don't be joining the panel, man. I'm fucking mad. Should go over there, Christine, and talk to Christine. Talk shit about my flannel shirts on Twitter.
I like your flannel shirts.
Doc was good. Mark was good. Doc disappeared.
I picked up your flannel shirt when you were on Lady Chance.
Why you sound so low, man? Oh, shit. I just added the shit. Hold on. Let me turn up the volume. All right, I got it. Gonna sit there on Twitter talking shit about my flannel schmerts.
I like your flannel shirt.
I like it. I think I look like a superhero. Low key.
What's up, guys?
I don't know. I think you look like what was his name from Home Improvement?
Tim Allen?
No, the assistant. Al, I think.
I don't look like that dude, bro.
No, not facially. It's just you got that whole like 1980s Denver lumberjack kind of swag.
I like that swag. That's strong man swags. I go out there, I chop a tree.
Julius, don't listen to him. You're a big, strong man.
Listen, man, I go over there and chop a tree, and the management will get mad at me and get us kicked out the complex.
You're not supposed to do that.
Fucking cat always talking shit about my schmannel schmerts. I don't know why she be doing that shit. Like, yo, man, you need to get a better. Like, what do you want me to wear when I'm live, dog? A cardigan? I got cardigans, but it's too hot for them shits.
Ring was good, man.
Hey, shit, man. I'm waiting for the scripted trilogy to go down so we see what's next because I believe Undisputed is dead.
Definitely, without question.
If you can hear me, Julius, I'm sorry. I'm having some kind of problem with my audio.
I dig it.
Yeah.
If I was Joshua, honestly, I wouldn't even focus on these guys anymore at all.
No, there's nothing. I mean, look, and I said it on Lady Chan's live that if I'm Joshua, before we even get to the point where the fight about to go down, I put my foot down now. They're like, yo, dog, 60-40. I don't care which one of y'all win. 60-40. And if you don't want to take, all right, don't take it because we wasn't fighting anyway. All the shit y'all been doing, it's always something with y'all. I ain't gonna cry about some shit I never had. So you either gonna take the 60-40 or we don't fight.
You know what? I'm gonna compare Joshua's situation to Canelo's situation, right? I honestly felt that Joshua should have had that attitude a long time ago. Because what happens is when you negotiate with someone that honestly is below than you, you're actually giving him more value.
Yep.
You understand? So in that case, Joshua should have been like that from the beginning, and if not, move on. And I'm gonna compare it to Canelo, right? Do you think it'd be wise for Jamar Charlo to say, you know what, Canelo, I want this amount of money or whatever? You taking whatever he gives you because you the one that need the opportunity, not him.
And that's how you see Canelo understands. Canelo understands. Like you gonna walk up in my press conference and I'm gonna laugh at you, bro. I'm gonna laugh, like, bro, like, really? Like, bro, you not nobody. I'm everything to you. You not nothing to me, bro. I just got 73,000 people in here without you, because you're nothing. And motherfuckers not gonna like that, but when you too kind to people, when you don't play your position, like, what I'm gonna be humble with y'all bums? Is y'all humble with me? Nah, y'all stay saying something bad about me. So why wouldn't I come at y'all head? Like, yo, Fury, why don't you shut the fuck up? Because I fought the same dude you did, except they cared when I did it. When you did it, motherfuckers was complaining after the fight. You should have said that. You should have been said that. Like, why when I fought this? We fought the same dude, Fury. But when I fought him, it was an event. When you fought him, On Sunday morning, motherfuckers was complaining. So know your role, motherfucker. I don't care what you think you are. I'm the draw. You not.
Exactly. And another thing I think that Joshua should do, and like, you know, maybe you might not be happy about what I'm about to say. If I was Joshua at this point in my career, I'd just fight lighter touches and just get paid. Because if they're gonna pay you anyway, like crazy amounts of money, I just fight lighter touches. Because Joshua's been fighting tough Joshua's resume alone is better than Deontay's and Fury's, right? But they still give him shit. So I might
Yeah.
as well fight lighter touches.
Bro, if it's me and I'm in that situation where it's like, yo, look, man, legacy fighter will lose a fight before a protected fighter. We all know that.
Yeah.
That's just how that go. Like Vasyl Lomachenko, and I'm not once again, I never been a Loma sexual or nothing like that, right? It's real shit. Like I've never been that. I give everybody their respect. But I was not like, yeah, man, he pound number one. Not on my list, motherfucker. Not on mine. Right? Now, Loma didn't have to fight Lopez. You understand that? He did not have to fight him. He was coming off a year layoff. He did not have to go right into that. But he did that. And a legacy fighter does stuff like that. Now, if you like Wilder, you gonna have people like, yo, I seen what Ness said about the he giving cats opportunities, man. Come on, man. Come on,
by the way, Julius, let me give you a big shout out for addressing these LDBC guys, because I honestly feel like they use the problem of race in America to their benefit. You know what I mean? Like they insert race where it doesn't belong.
My issue with that is, right, look, because this is a boxing channel, this is not a political channel, feel me?
Yes.
So my issue with that is that's a real issue, feel me? And when you misappropriate a real issue, you desensitize people to it. That's what you're doing. No, it's a real issue that deserves real attention. You trying to get money off of boxing? Nah, bro, you can't do that. That's disgusting. That's chill. Like, you wilding.
Mhm.
This is not that. Fury and Wild, nah, this is not that, bro. This is not that. And you trying to make it that for some bread when, like, yo, it's real stuff going on. You must not care about none of that real stuff. And that's why we ain't see you at no rallies. We saw Joshua. We saw John Bones Jones. We saw a couple of basketball players. I think we saw a football player, a couple of actors. We seen a lot of people with a lot of shit. We ain't see you.
And like, another shout out to you, Julius, for pointing out a lot of the shit that he talks about. Like, he says one thing, but practice is another, right? And I don't want to get I don't want to get too much into it, so I'm gonna use certain code words because I don't know if it's the thing is sensitive.
I dig it.
All right. Wilder's been, preaching all this, black power and everything, but everything he does is contrary to what he says. For example, like you mentioned in the video today, I think you posted, when you was like how JD's was in the locker room watching them tape Fury's hands and put on the gloves, but then you fired your brother. You know what I mean? You fired your brother.
No, hang on. Not just no, dude. He didn't just fire, dude. He fired a United States of America gold fucking medalist.
Yeah. You 100% right on that.
And think about that. They're like, yo, JD's was in the locker with them. So if this story is real, right? If it's me and I sent Jay, yo, Jay, go watch them wrap his hands. Bet I got you. And then later on, I feel like I got hit with a locker in my face. I'm gonna ask Jay. I ain't gonna ask Mark. Like, Jay, did you watch them? Did you stay with them? Because from where I'm going to be sitting, it's going to look like you fumbled the ball. Never mind Mark, because what he's saying can't be reconciled. If you think, right, yo, this cat had an anvil in his gloves, then I should be thanking Mark for stopping the fight. Because if Mark don't stop the fight, yo, I might not make it out this joint. Good looks, Mark. Nah, you going to fire Mark and keep Jay. I seen Jay. He's in the background. I'm like, yo, you still got this Pilates instructor there, yo? Really like that dude, bro.
Breland was the only one who could actually help Wilder if he actually would have listened to him. I mean, what Malik Scott is doing with him right now, if he would have had Breland doing that with him from the get-go a long time ago, he'd be 1,000 times better right now.
I'll be perfectly honest. Like, I'm not falling into it. I'm seeing a lot of things. Like, you're talking about what Malik Scott's doing with Wilder right now on the pads. Anybody who knows how pads work, Wilder looks fucking shit on those pads right now. Terrible. He's off balance. He's leaning over to the side. He's right up. He's completely on line. His chin is pushed fucking out. He's gonna be a fucking wrecking ball. He ain't improving on anything. The only difference is that he has a guy who used to box holding those pads, so he has rhythm as opposed to a yoga instructor, and that's a fact.
Well,
Okay.
Mark, you know how I feel that if he goes out there and all of a sudden he's fucking Pernell Whitaker, like Fury just can't read him. Oh my God, the jab. And in.
Yeah, Julius, I agree with you. The fix could be in, but I'm gonna say one thing, my friend. Yep, Wilder's gonna get retired in July. He's gonna get fucking retired. He's gonna get brutalized. He's gonna get fucking brutalized. He ain't accepted that loss. He ain't bouncing back properly. He's still trying to blame everything. It's all been a selling ploy. He's gonna get fucking annihilated.
Now, this is what I want to ask you, Mark. What do you make of John Fury and all his fucking Because John, look, we all seen John over the years, right? This man cannot shut the fuck up about how great his son is. All of a sudden, it's diabolical, you political bastards. Oh, it's diabolical now? Why is it diabolical now? What changed? Why are you so bothered?
Now you could have a point there, Jay. Or is he just a dad?
Of course he's just of course he's just a dad. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Now it's inconsistent, Doc.
Right,
now
right,
you're
right,
worried. Right. Now you're worried. You weren't worried. You wasn't talking like that ahead of the first Wilder fight or the second Wilder fight.
Now hang on. Let me play devil's advocate here. Before the first Fury fight, I don't know if he said this beforehand or afterhand, but he did make a big point of being like, "Hey, you're weak as a kitten. You shouldn't be fighting Wilder right now." Blah 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 blah.
After. No, Doc, you're right.
Right.
All of that did not come out until after the first fight was over. Ahead of the first fight, he's sitting there arguing with Wilder like he the confidentest man in that ever man.
Well, now hang on. Now, to be fair though, who here besides me and you, Jay? I know me and you. We thought Fury was getting knocked the fuck out because he was getting off the fucking cocaine in the couch. Who else here, out of the four of you, who else here felt the same way?
Leo, we all know that I called both fights perfectly. So
I wasn't sure if Fury was going to win or not in that first fight.
All I'm saying is I'm not used to seeing John Fury worried. I'm just not used to that. He's sitting there on the pool table. It's diabolical.
Can I tell you why John's going crazy? Can I tell you the
main? Nuts, bro.
Can I tell you the main reason John's going crazy? Because we've seen all of this shit with Tyson Fury before, and I'm not talking about the fight. I'm not talking about the yes man. I'm talking about the temptations, the cheating on his wife, constantly partying. He's seen that before. I think that's what he sees. I think he thinks Tyson's is regressing again.
Well,
and he doesn't have anybody there to correct him.
Isn't Paris there with him?
She may have finally flown out without a wedding ring, not before he cheated on her about 15 times, bro. I'm not gonna fucking front on that shit. That shit was fucking obvious as hell.
I mean, look, like I said, people on the inside.
I know you're in Paris.
Not Paris, but somebody. I've heard things. I choose not to talk about them because they're not relevant to my day-to-day operations.
SQLA and JP.
So I'm guessing you've heard things, Jay. You've heard things that that I or Mark or Dan would suspect. You've heard things
look,
that,
at the end
that
of
the
the
rest
day,
of us may.
Doc,
Yes, sir.
listen to this very carefully, right? Julius is going to get really, really red.
This shit's getting greasy. It's
SQLA
gonna get greasy, I know.
SQLA MJP.
Spell that again.
SQLA MJP.
No.
I mean, I think we all heard that one, right?
Yeah.
I think we all heard that one. And
I think even some of us have seen some of the evidence too.
I mean, look, and I don't like to get into that because I feel like, you know, if something happened, it's none of my business. But why would those kinds of excursions, right? Because it's characteristic of Fury. He likes to party. Why would those excursions all of a sudden disturb his father, who every other fucking day is telling every man, woman, and his dog that Fury's the greatest thing? Now he's not. Now you worried? Why you worried now? He didn't really start preparing for Joshua.
Ooh, Jay, now you're onto something, because in hindsight, he was only worried about the first fight, right? Because this kid was coming off the coca. And then I'm just saying. I'm just to be clear, I'm hypotheticaling here, right? I'm you know what I mean? Theorizing. I'm theorizing. I'm not I'm not making any statements of fact or
All I'm saying is in the last 5 years, really we should say 3. When have you ever seen Big John apprehensive ahead of a fight? You saw how he was talking to David Hay. I will bet you 1,000, like, bro, like, all right, chill, bro. Like, I know that's your son, but chill. Nah, he can't chill. He can't chill. All of a sudden, he wants to chill.
Well, no, and that's the thing.
I really think it comes down to the family problems, Jay. I really do. There was a lot going on between him and Paris, and he was going. I think that's why he's talking about the yes men. I don't think he has that. He's not actually made a comment about fighting Wilder. He says he has a whole load of yes men around.
Well, what he has said to that effect is that the Americans have trapped them both. He has. I'm saying.
Americans conspiracy. I'm not. Maybe. I'm just saying it sounds when it comes across the airwaves, it sounds funny. I'm not saying it's not true. All right.
We've got them, Doc.
We got him captured. We got him, Jay. We got him. We got him. All right.
The Americans have captured them. They've got them now.
Julius, in terms of the whole fixed fight thing, right? I think it's a great theory. But my only problem is that requires Tyson Fury to be an honest man. Bro. I think if your theory is true, there could have been a chance Wilder may have taken a dive in the first one, in the second fight. The first fight was staged. But I cannot, for some reason, I cannot see Tyson Fury allowing himself to purposely lose.
It's a grift, bro. It's a grift.
I'm sure it's a grift. But he knows if he fights Wilder and loses, they could have a 4-fight and make another 20 million.
No. You're not looking at it in the right perspective. You have to look at it. This is why I always start the theory this way. Fury wasn't going to come back. He wasn't. So he's approached by Wilder. Listen, you still have a name. You still have your O. Let's get this money. When you look at it that way, then you realize Fury ain't looking at no AJ money because he had no intention of coming back. So regardless of what's on the table, he was never going to take it. Thus, he doesn't feel like he's losing anything. You're here to help Wilder. You've kept up your end of the bargain, and now your portion of the story is over. It's about to be.
So you're saying would Wilder's standing be way bigger than it was before the first Fury fight?
I'm saying that the way it works out, think about it. First fight's a draw, then Fury wins one, then Wilder wins one, and if Fury retires, the only man that beat Tyson Fury is a man that Tyson Fury beat.
Or you've got a now I gotta point out here. First off, I gotta point out here.
That sounds like a Wizard of Oz script.
Yeah, damn straight. Now hang on. Speaking of Wizard of Oz scripts, I did point out and this is just an opinion. I'm not pretending like I fucking predicted this or any shit like that. Way back when Wilder started with all of the glove gate and all of that shit, my position on it was the only thing that made sense to me was okay, I get it. They're using this to try and make the third fight in some way intriguing because of how one-sided the second fight was.
And that's my theory, Doc.
That's my theory. My theory has always, and I'm sticking with that. Now, Jay, I'm not saying you're wrong, all right? Forgive me. I'm an old man. I don't want to believe it's turned. I don't want to believe that my favorite sport is turned into fucking WWE. Forgive me.
On,
no, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Come on, listen.
I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope, Jay. Forgive me. All right.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Doc. You're an old enough man to know that boxing was WWE.
Fuck off, Mark.
Long before the WWE ever existed.
Off,
exactly. That's why, to me, it makes more sense. Look, think about how all of this breaks.
Shout out to Jake LaMotta.
Think about how all of this breaks down. Oh, the first fight's a draw, and then Fury wins, and then Wilder wins. And if Wilder wins, if you entertain that, does Fury stick around? No. Fuck no.
Okay, here's where I get confused a little bit.
I can't wait to win my bet with you, Jay.
Here's where I get fucked up on this thing. All right, pro wrestling's one thing. All right, boxing's another. You're telling me that Wilder took that level of an ass beating on purpose?
Well, that's
no, hang on. Or are you
on Black
telling
History
me?
Month?
Hang on. Or are you telling me that outside forces kind of manipulated things as opposed to Wilder being complicit? Do you get me what I'm trying to say? Go ahead.
Let me break it down. The main ones in on the grift are Wilder and Fury. The outcomes, this is the theory. The theory is the outcomes are predetermined. They knew first fight's going to be a draw. They knew second fight, it's Fury's turn to win. Third fight, that's Wilder's turn to win. All of this is manufactured. Everything you're seeing outside of what happened with Eddie Hearn. See, where Eddie Hearn fits into the picture is the pandemic. During the pandemic, this was all supposed to have ended already last year. Now, the pandemic pushed things out. You started the controversy, but then it cooled off. People like, all right, this guy.
Well, dude, hang on. To be fair, it cooled off right when Fury beat the fuck out of Wilder.
No. The controversy kicked off after the second fight.
Okay. What I meant was the value of the third fight cooled off the second that Fury, as soon as that towel came flying in.
Now, this is the thing. This is the thing. I believe, as far as Glovegate, that was already the angle they were going to use for the third fight, and they did that, and it worked for a while, right? But the pandemic hit, pushed everything out. Now, Wilder, you're talking about costumes, Kenny Bayless, Mark Breland, gloves, muscle relaxers. Now you're talking about gypsy hoodoo magic.
Which is a real thing. I can't confirm.
He fired the brother. I'm gonna be blunt. He fired the brother and kept the white guy. I'm just saying. Hey,
yo, Wilder out here enabling. To quote Julius's last. No, hold on, Doc. Stop.
I'm American. Okay.
Stop. To quote Julius's last video. I'm not. I'm just going to use one quote specifically.
Don't put the heat on him.
Which is the beep. Wilder's out here enabling beep privilege. Shelly Finkel, JD is, and let's be real, Tyson Fury is the biggest embodiment of enabling beep privilege. You gave him
shit!
No, hold on. Straight up, he gave him an opportunity while oppressing another black man.
So wait a minute. Whoa.
Dillian White.
So hang on. So my American brother is not just up against the UK Fury. He's up against his own fellow Americans because Shelly Finkel. Hey, Shelly, hang on. So Shelly, I'm talking to Mark. Sorry, Jay. So you're telling me Shelly Finkel? Shelly Finkel set my man up, is what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is Wilder's out here enabling beep privilege. That's all he's doing. He's giving he's giving opportunities to beep people and taking it away from his fellow brothers.
Okay, hang on. That would mean this. I'm getting really fucked up here because that would mean when Larry Holmes, right?
Right.
when Larry Holmes fought my man, he was giving up white privilege. When Muhammad Ali fought Joe Bugner. Was he giving up? Was he doing some shit for? Come on, what the fuck here?
This is the difference. Look at how many people he overlooked Dillian White, who actually deserved the shot.
He overlooked an undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua. Right? He overlooked an undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua.
Yes. These two things are true.
People shit. You overlook the brothers and fights with the brothers to give Tyson Fury a shot that he did not deserve anyway.
Ooh! Charles Martin.
Charles Martin. Here's another one.
The brother Charles Martin.
He wasn't willing to give drug cheap Povetkin shots, right? But Luis Ortiz. But at the same point, why couldn't he have fought Brian Jennings?
Or Charles Martin? Why didn't? Well, no, I still don't get. Me and Beats are probably.
Yeah, we all know why.
We beat this shit to death. Why did he not fight Charles Martin?
Because Al Heyman was being cheap, and you already know this.
Because no. Because Al Heyman fucked up. Let's be more blunt about it. He fucked up.
No. It's two ways you can look at that, right? It's two ways you can look at that. I do look at it as Al Heyman fucking up. Make no mistake. But the other way to look at it is. There was never enough money in that pot to make that. Charles Martin? Who in what state in America?
No, Jay. This is why Al fucked up. The reason Al fucked up and why it's a fuck up is because Eddie realized, heavyweight division. Rising tide raises all ships. As the heavyweight division, you've heard all of us motherfuckers, old ass motherfuckers like me go on and on about how as the heavyweight division goes, so goes the fucking sport, right? That's why Al fucked up. Eddie, because his dad's been in it longer than him. Al's been in it. You get me? His dad probably is the one that said, "Dude, son." If you can get that fucking Charles Martin in the ring with your boy, fucking pay the money because hang on. Now, how much did they pay?
About $7 million.
Okay, so all Al had to do was come up with 8. Is what you're telling?
I want to say.
Wait a minute. For starters, you're not thinking about this properly.
I know I'm being logical.
Hold on, calm down.
Go ahead. Yeah, I apologize.
All right, now Eddie could put up 8. Al could put up 8. What's the difference? AJ can bring it back. He at that time he was already a draw. He can bring it back. Put up 8. If you put up 8 for Charles and put up 3. For Wilder at that time, neither one of those motherfuckers could bring
hang on.
Back.
No, that's the thing. This is the thing. You're gambling, okay? You have to have some sense. Hang on. Barry, because Eddie, because of his dad's experience in the sport, I feel like had a better sense of that moment. He had a better sense of the moment. I apologize if I'm sounding like I'm talking gibberish. He had a better sense of the moment than Al did because of the experiences of his father. Does that make any fucking sense to anybody here?
Look. Al makes that fight, right? Let's say Al tries to make... because
No. Let's say he does, please.
All right, now, let's say... Forget about Eddie's $7 million. Let's say it never gets to the point where Eddie offers them $7 million. Let's say Al tries to make the fight straight away. what it's going to take for you to pay these two guys the unified titles, you won't get back because neither one of them was a draw in America.
No. It's a long-term investment, Jay. That's my whole point.
I'm not saying that it's not a long-term investment. I'm just saying
right.
He was not about. He was. Why do you think he didn't put the money up? Because he knew they couldn't bring it back. So he.
I disagree. I think it's because he doesn't understand the game the way a guy. Because Al, for all of his, all of the fucking shit that we talk about, like we talk about his fucking brother getting punched up by fucking Sugar Ray Leonard, right, and that being his introduction to the boxing business. Well, yeah, I get all that. It's not the same as having you being a promoter, and your dad was a fucking high-level promoter. Okay? I'm saying Eddie had more fucking high-level understanding of the game and what everything meant than Al. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yes. I want a short answer, not a big long fucking answer, Doc, for this. And all the time that you've known, all the time that you've known Al Heyman. Have you ever known him to take a gamble?
No.
Nope.
Okay, there we go. Right, so you want him to do something completely out of character, and I understand why you might. Wait.
He's wrong from
you spoke long. Let me get my point across.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So as far as like all of this goes, and him breaking character and doing all of this, maybe it's a good idea, but maybe not for him. Whereas with Matchroom, everybody knew. This is not a joke. We all knew Anthony Joshua was a fucking lock for superstardom in the United Kingdom if he got a hold of a world title. And Eddie Hearn, that was a for sure gamble. If he wins that fight, that money comes back in bucket loads. If he doesn't win, they still make a profit on the fight because he does 500,000 pay-per-view. And Charles Martin gets a $5 million purse, and AJ takes a $2 million purse. Yeah? It did 500,000 at £20 a pop. That's 10 million pounds, about $12.5 million. So they still make a profit either way. It wasn't a gamble on their end. It was called smart play. As far as it goes over onto the Wilder side of things, they're probably going to lose money. That fight probably isn't going to go onto pay-per-view because in the US, nobody knows who the fuck they are at this time.
Exactly.
Right. The point of making... The point of making Wilder versus Charles Martin is not the Wilder versus Charles Martin fight. Do you understand? It's long term. You have to have a long term, a big picture fucking scan of the whole fucking thing. In my opinion, I'm explaining my position. I'm not even telling you that I'm correct. All right?
Yeah, but
I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
Now let me explain this. Let me explain this, Doc. But let me explain this, Doc. Before you go, Dan, let me just say this. You have to understand, Al Heyman and those guys did not anticipate that AJ would become what he became. And to be completely honest, they weren't all that invested in Wilder until after AJ became what he became. Because the whole time, wait a minute. The whole time Wilder was on Showtime, Al Heyman never got him an exclusivity deal. He never got him a big cash guarantee or a multi-fight deal with Showtime. The whole time he was fighting on there. So Showtime isn't as invested in him as it appears. What they're really invested in is an AJ fight. That's what they're invested in. They only got interested in Wilder after AJ became interesting.
Because someone in that whole equation is a dumb fuck. All right, I'm not saying who it is because I don't know, but someone in that equation is a dumb fuck, and they do not. And somehow it went over their fucking heads that if you get the heavyweight champion of the world to be an American, okay, you will slowly but surely be able to build him up and build him up and build him up. You get what I'm trying to say?
And remember, few key points. Al is not a boxing guy. That's one. Two.
He's a music guy. Hang on though. He's got ties to boxing because of his brother.
That doesn't make him a boxing guy.
I get that. But
all right. Two. Second key point. What had the heavyweight division been? Like, you got to go back to what you were thinking in 2015 when he won the title in January. Americans were not watching the heavyweight division.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And again,
why would a non-boxing guy? Let me pour all my chips in this limited heavyweight I have named Deontay Wilder, let me just pour $8 million down the drain on him because in the future, this heavyweight from the UK is going to be worse. It's like it never would happen, dog. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, well,
he should understand. Hang on. He should, real quick, Dan. He should understand that, again, I'm going to use this term. As the heavyweight division goes, so goes the whole sport.
He's not
he should.
a boxing guy. He's not gonna know that.
His experience with his brother. Hang on. His experience with his brother should be enough. I'll leave it there. Go ahead, Mark and Dan.
I wanted to bring up one other thing, right? And this is just the idea, right? If Al had made that investment in that IBF title, that would have been a stupid move anyway, Doc. Because their entire game plan. No, shut up for a second, man.
Okay,
Let me speak. Come on. Right? Something that everybody seems to leave out is the way the IBF rankings worked at that time. And we all know the IBF are the strictest sanctioning body in boxing. And Anthony Joshua was about to be set to be made the mandatory for that title against the winner of Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder if it were to happen. He was next in line to be mandatory. So Al Heyman's entire long-term plan with Wilder is what we see now, where Wilder has made money, where Wilder has become somewhat of a name without having to fight the steepest level of competition. I do not think Al Heyman wanted to make the investment to then have to put that IBF title up in the mandatory fight against Anthony Joshua, knowing that was far too fucking dangerous. I think that would have been... No. I think Al Heyman's one step ahead on that one. Because the PBC, time and time again, have purposely stepped out of the way of having their fighters be put into difficult mandatory situations. And you can ask any person out there if I
get it. You're making sense. I'm not going to fucking deny the logic of anything you just said. Everything you just said made logical sense, Mark. However, the only point where I'm like, I don't know. Are you telling me that Al Heyman... basically was so afraid of he was... In other words, what you're saying is it wasn't worth it to him to have Fury or to have Wilder go knock out Charles Martin and then go over to the UK, make $100 million fucking dollars. I know I'm just using a term.
That money didn't exist at that time.
I'm using a term to make a point.
Well, your point's wrong.
My point, no! The biggest moneymaker at the time was Anthony Joshua. Okay?
Now, Dan, you need to calm down. You're monopolizing.
Right. No, that's me. That's me.
All right, first.
And I need to respond to that.
Don't blame Dan. Don't blame Dan.
I'm sorry, Dan. Doc.
Yeah, I need to respond to that.
I want to respond to that. For starters, you got your timelines all crossed up.
That could be. Yeah. That could be.
You have your timelines
massively.
One, he's talking about 2015, 2016, before Joshua fights Klitschko, when he picks up the IBF title. At that time, this man is not yet worth $100 million. Now, you're questioning whether or not Al Heyman was that hell-bent on protecting Wilder. Wilder, who fought absolutely no one.
We're talking the Charles Martin fight.
Bro, stop interrupting.
Yes, I just want to make sure we're...
Now, you're talking about Wilder, who fought absolutely no one for 7 years. And you're wondering if he was that, seriously, you don't think he was protected? You don't fight a Chisora, you don't fight a Povetkin, you don't fight a Pulev or a Perez or a Warzik. I'm like, you didn't fight Warzik.
You strangle a woman. Hold on, you strangle a woman to get out of a Derek Chisora fight.
He didn't fight Charles Martin. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not the enemy. All right, I'm just trying to make sure we cover all the bases here.
The bases are covered because my point is this: the PBC and Showtime were not invested in Wilder until after Joshua brought money to the division. Then they made him a focal point. Before that, he was just another fighter. They didn't forget that he got dropped. They didn't forget that he got dropped by Harold Sconey. Look, the paper that I read was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The article that I read. They said Wilder was in danger of getting knocked the fuck out. There's no footage of this fight.
Oh, by the guy in jean shorts, in the jorts, right?
The Harold Sconeers guy.
Yeah.
They said Wilder was in big trouble in that fight, all right?
The dude who looked like somebody's sick uncle.
Right. No, but if you're Al Heyman, you're not supposed to give a fuck. Maybe Al cares too much. I'm sorry.
Hey, Doc.
Look,
I might be trolling now. Go ahead.
Wilder and Charles Martin are the two wrong guys for a long-term investment, irregardless.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
No, I disagree with that. I do disagree with that. Because Al did make a long-term investment in Wilder. And he did it the shrewdest, easiest, dirtiest way possible. He's made... I want to say this. Yeah. He's made a lot of money off of Deontay Wilder just by using AJ's name.
Okay. So the reason I want to make sure I get
without
this
ever having to step in the ring.
Fair enough. I get. I want to make sure I understand this correctly. The argument is. I want to make sure. Is this the argument? Is the argument that Al did not make the Wilder versus Charles Martin fight because the winner of that was going to have to fight Joshua anyways?
Yes. No, Al didn't make the Wilder.
That's my argument.
No.
That's your argument. Hang on. That's Mark's argument.
You're making it too complex when it's not complex.
I didn't think. Hang on. I didn't think that was that complex. Mark answered right away.
But you are making it complex because I just told you the money wasn't there for that fight. You're proposing that Al Heyman should have put up the same amount of money that Eddie put up when the only reason Eddie put it up.
No. He should have put up. Hang on. He should have put up more.
Okay.
Shut up, Doc, and let the man speak.
All right, yeah, Doc. All right, now you're saying he should have put up more money so that what? Wilder doesn't bring it back? Who's in the business of losing money? What promoter?
So that the heavyweight, that portion of the heavyweight title stays in America.
That didn't matter.
Hang on. Now, if you're saying that Al didn't get that and didn't get that he didn't understand the importance. Okay, well that still means he fucked up.
Not really, because you're gonna lose. All right, let me break this down in simplest terms. You see what's going on with Teofimo, right? And Bob. You see what's going on with them, right?
Of
Bob
course.
is not gonna. Let me talk. Yes. Bob is not going to put up $6 million for Lopez versus Kambosos because I'm not a moron. I'm not going to gamble $6 million that I know that fight isn't going to bring me back. Are you nuts? You better off going to Triller and trying your luck with them because I'm not putting up that money so you could lose it. The same applies to Wilder and Charles Martin.
They're not heavyweights. Hang on.
Al's not going to put up $8 million, $10 million, $12 million for you two fucks who can't bring that money back.
I get it. The difference is, and the difference that Al, in my opinion, this is an opinion, people, just my personal opinion, what Al did not understand, in my opinion, was the significance of the heavyweight title and how it can raise all fucking ships.
No. I'm going to ask you a question. Let me ask you a separate question, Doc.
Yes.
You think Wilder beating Charles Martin would have did anything for that division?
Nope.
It would have made things a little simpler in my opinion.
No, it wouldn't have. Charles Martin didn't have a profile, and most people thought the way he won the title was stupid.
I get that. Yeah. Dude fucking broke his own leg.
The whole buzz.
Hold on. This. Look, Julius, don't say a word. Doc, who did Charles Martin beat for that title?
Glaskov. Well, Glaskov, hang on, Glaskov beat himself. No, Glaskov beat himself.
Yeah, bro. Now you ask 99% of boxing fans, they won't answer that. They will not be able to answer.
I'm not saying they will, but you could. This is the whole reason why Al Heyman's a fuck up. He could have put his guy in a position where he said, "My man's got half the heavyweight title." All right.
To defend it against who? That's a draw. To defend it against who? That's a big draw. Joshua wasn't. This is why. So, now wait a minute.
This is where it gets. Go ahead.
This is why you have your timelines mixed up. You're basing your perspective on AJ based on what he went on to be. When at that time no one knew that. Al didn't know that. Al doesn't know there's some British heavyweight that's going to pour all this money into the heavyweight division for the next 5 years. He didn't know that.
I'm not saying. Time out. I'm not saying Al should. I'm saying Al if we're talking about shoulda, woulda, coulda, Al should have understood the value of the heavyweight division
And the
relative,
heavyweight division
relative,
Can I-
hang on, relative to
Americans
the rest
in the
of
last
sport.
10 years.
May I?
Hey,
May
hang
I?
on.
May
Hey,
I?
hang on, real quick before you go, Mark. And why was the heavyweight division thrown off the networks in America? Because it was non-Americans that were the fucking title holders. The fucking Klitschko's. They threw the Klitschko's off the networks over here.
Okay.
All right? You have the chance. Hang on. You had the chance, if you spent the right amount of money, to have a unified American, not a one belt, not a WBC one belt holder,
Okay,
a unified title holder, half the championship. Go ahead.
You need to calm down. Now, one, you've had a heavyweight in your stable that's been knocking people out for the last 7-8 years. Has he made you any money? Is he a household name in the last 7 years? No. So why would that all of a sudden be an incentive to put up millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to unify a title when they can't bring you that money back? What you're saying doesn't make any sense, because Wilder was not a draw, and he'd already been a boxer for 7 years and 32 professional fights.
What you just said there, Jay, is part and parcel of why I'm saying this is why I view Al as a fuck up. Most of us here on the panel view Al as a fuck up. For different reasons. I view him as a fuck up for this reason. Go ahead.
I think there was an opportunity there to perhaps unify the titles with Charles Martin.
You could have had half the title, Jay.
You would have had half the titles.
Yes.
There we agree. The gamble, however, is who at that time would have invested that amount of money on Wilder when he wasn't a draw, and neither was Charles Martin. So you're going to put up $8 million for these two guys to accomplish what? You're not going to get no money back off of that.
You have to understand the history of the sport, and you have to understand that having a as you'd like to put it in your videos, Jay, to use your terminology, have a pony in the show. All right? To have a significant pony in the show. You would have had a more significant pony in the show if you've got half the fucking titles.
Okay.
Whatever the fuck happens outside of that, right? Good, you win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or indifferent, right? You can work with. The bottom line is you'd go from having a quarter of the pony to half the pony.
Okay, but the pony you have in the show, you got one pony that didn't really win the title. The other guy beat himself.
I get that Wilder sucks. We're not talking about how good Wilder is. Go ahead.
Yeah.
May I?
Okay.
Right, Julius, I have a question. Do you believe Al Heyman ever had any intention of fighting Anthony Joshua with Deontay
None
Wilder?
whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Right. Doc, based off of
I don't think
over $100 million and everything being offered, do you believe there's ever been a full intention to take that fight?
Again, we agree.
I'm asking you
Al,
a simple question.
no,
Yes or
because
no?
Al is a fuck up. And we're talking about why he's a fuck up.
Okay. No, I'm gonna make my fucking point.
No.
I'm gonna make my point.
Wait,
Right?
Doc, wait a minute.
You like
How does
Dan,
Al fuck
Dan.
up
Oh my
Wilder?
god, I'm gonna start punching white people's heads. Shut up, crackers. Fucking white privilege. Shut up. To white privilege speaking
you're
over
white
this
too. Look
gypsy
in the
man.
mirror, you
I'm not
fucker.
a gypsy, bro. Stop the flesh.
Yeah, he's gypsy.
I want to add this to the conversation because I think that this is what you guys are missing, right? Right? This is what you're missing. Let's say Wilder takes the $100 million offer from DAZN. Do you think Al profits more off that $100 million than a budget from Fox or a budget from Showtime? Because he doesn't.
No,
I'm not done. In other words,
okay, my bad.
to Al Heyman, it's more beneficial to keep Wilder on his side of the street, away from AJ, than actually allow him. See, to Wilder, it's more beneficial to get the money because you're going to get most of that. Al will get his cut, but that's not the same as getting a budget from Fox. That's not the same as getting a budget from Showtime. You get a whole budget. That's money for you to play. Whereas what Wilder would have got from DAZN would have been, for the most part, for him. Al would have got his cut. Lou would have got his cut. And Shelley would have got his cut. But it's just a cut versus getting a whole budget from a network.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Leo.
Al Heyman is a music man, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the principal attribute from man from that side of the street?
Gimmicks.
I think the most important attribute for that kind of man is judging character. I'm not talking about judging good character. I am talking about judging bad character. I know Wilder is one or two defeats away from boxing. I know Gervonta Davis is one or two defeats away from boxing. I know Jermall Charlo is one or two defeats away from boxing. How do you give this man, do you delude this man, you protect this man, they stay with you, make you money, and that's the way this guys works.
Oh,
They
okay, okay.
they're not they Alzheimer is not gonna work with someone uh, working for legacy, for greatness.
Okay.
I
What
see
you
what you're
do,
saying, Leo. I see what you're
what
saying, Leo.
what he just said is why Al is a fuck up in my view. Okay,
Okay,
Al,
yeah.
as I have brought up multiple times on your hangouts, Jay, right? About how Al's history with boxing is his watching his brother get punched up by fucking Sugar Ray Leonard, left in a gutter, bleeding from his ass, no money, no nothing, no fucking medical coverage, no nothing, right? So
Right.
what he just said is exactly what is he's basically laying out for me, in my opinion, why Al fucked up. Because
Okay,
if
okay,
anything,
but see, you're not.
Al might be a little too considerate.
Okay,
of his
and you
fighters.
guys are making this about feelings when this is not about
It's
feelings.
about
Like I see.
Kashish.
Now, wait a minute. You guys
That's
aren't.
where I'm going. Go ahead.
What I think is not being understood here is Al does not benefit from acting as a promoter. He benefits from being from having a network affiliate. You understand what I mean? That let's say, okay, the zone offers your fighter $100 million. You get a chunk, you get a piece of that, but it won't be as big a piece as what you get from your network affiliate. Your network affiliate is giving you an entire budget to stage shows for your company. Remember, he benefits more from shows that he makes under the banner than sending one of his fighters out there, regardless of what they stand to make.
Mhm.
Which is why he should.
That's saying that what Al is in it for is the network affiliate, not the fighter. The network
Now-
affiliate. I get a budget from Bill Wenger. I get a budget from Stefan Espinoza. I'm going to look out for their best interests because their best interests are also the best interests of my money, of my company, and its budget. Whereas if I send Wilder to the zone to have that fight, yeah, he benefits from it, but I don't benefit from it as much. And if he goes over there and loses, I'm fucked.
But now we're going beyond the Charles Barton fight, right?
Yeah. We're talking
beyond. We're talking beyond that. All right.
We'll walk past that. Essentially,
right,
if you see, for example, Gary Russell Jr., he turns down a Josh Warrington fight and $1 million, right? To fight absolutely no one because he hasn't fought since he turned down that offer, and he doesn't seem to have a fight scheduled, not yet, right? Now, Al doesn't want to run risks sending him over there because he could get robbed on the cards, and if he could get robbed on the cards, what am I gambling sending him over there? The percentage, a cut of $1 million? No, you stay here, Gary. We'll find you
whilst I
something.
lose a world title fight segment on my network.
But this is what I'm saying. Shouldn't Al? I mean, aren't we kind of saying in a way, Al's a little too convivial to his fighters?
I personally,
Lou DiBella called Al Heyman a control freak.
and that's coming from a control freak.
Okay.
All right.
The control freak.
Fuck you, Lou.
That makes sense. The control freak thing. I can make sense of that. But nonetheless, him being a control freak is what's made him a fuck up. Then, or whatever. The point is, Jay, Al fucked up by not making sure Wilder got in the ring with fucking Charles Martin before AJ. I don't care what anybody fucking says. I will fight you in the street. I'm just saying, my opinion is he fucked up. Now, why he fucked up, that's to me what we're debating here. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. Just think about it this way, because this is simplest terms. What is worth more to Al Heyman's PBC? 30 to 20% of $1 million purse, or a championship segment on Fox? That's the easiest way to think about it. When you put it that way, you'll realize why.
I get it. I get it. If he plays his cards right, Jay, he's gonna have, at the very minimum, he's gonna have a minority stake in the winner of an AJ versus.
Assuming he's playing cards when he doesn't gamble. So why would he?
Okay, cards? He's a fuck up then, right? We're agreeing he's a fuck up then.
It's not even. You look. Eddie Hearn sells boxing matches, right? Eddie Hearn sells boxing matches. Bob Arum sells boxing matches. Al Heyman is selling gimmicks. It's a different racket.
Gimmick.
Racket.
But regardless, he fucked up. Regardless of me and you might disagree about why, but I think it sounds like we're agreeing that he fucked up. Yes? No?
I think so long as he can get people to invest in his PBC, maybe he's fucking things up for his fighters, but he's not fucking things up for himself.
Yeah.
Now hang on. If he has half the heavyweight championship and AJ goes on to do what he did, right, and beats Vlad and gets, just hypothetically, gets himself the other half, is Al not going to make way more money off of that than he did off of fucking Wilder versus Fury? No. They call me crazy. I think he would have, but go ahead. Explain to me why he wouldn't.
Because AJ doesn't go down the path of the WBA to fight Vlad. He fights, he pushes for the mandatory.
I said the hypothetical is hypothetical.
Yeah, but your hypothetical scenario, right?
Oh, okay. Tell me.
No, Doc. I'm not playing fucking fantasy land in a hypothetical situation that didn't exist. I'm actually talking about the whole factual situation, right? And that's what we're talking about, because we can't go around saying somebody fucks up in a situation that just doesn't exist.
So then you tell me what happens if Wilder fights Charles Martin and knocks him the fuck out the way I think he would have, and he's got WBC and IBF. Yeah. What happens on the AJ side of things then? Hang on. What I'm talking to Mark? What happens on the AJ side of things that fucks up? The gigantic money, in my opinion, that would have been available for a Wilder versus AJ. Undisputed.
I'll tell you exactly what happens.
Yes.
Wilder, who just did 500,000 against Arthur Spielke on viewing figures, fights against Charles Martin, picks up the title. The IBF mandatory gets called. Deontay Wilder vacates that title.
Yeah, that's
okay. See, that would be Al fucking up again, in my view. So go ahead. I'm not saying
here's the thing. You're looking for money
either.
that doesn't exist at the time, because you need to remember, first of all, Anthony Joshua, yes, he's done pay-per-view, but before Charles Martin.
Right.
No, stop. Let people talk. Let them get their points across, because nobody's gotten the chance to finish a point. So you just keep controlling the situation, right? So AJ had done 400K plus once, and that was against Dillian White at that time, right? Yeah. So that's about 8 million. Where you're looking for this mega money, Wilder got 1 million. He got 1.25, I think it was, or something like that against Spielke, and Spielke got like 200K or something. 1.4 million pot. And that was the fight where Charles Martin fought against Glasgow, by the way. That was on the same card. They were on the same card. That's a 1.4 million purse. Maybe Al has about 2.2 million in his budget to put that fight on in a unification. Maybe that's what he's got from Showtime. If they have to put that on pay-per-view, it's the first time ever that Showtime puts someone on who barely touches 500,000 on pay-per-view. Showtime are not touching that with a barge pole. They're going to lose too much money. Espinosa's not willing to invest that. This is the real situation, not the fantasy land that you want to live in. Meanwhile, AJ pushes for his mandatory. because if he didn't get the Charles Martin fight, AJ was fighting Erkin Tepper at the same time. Don't forget this. Everyone's leaving this out.
Okay,
That was the final.
Now you're
No,
talking
hold on.
language
That
I
was
can
the
understand.
final eliminator for the IBF. That was going to happen if they couldn't get Charles Martin.
So
They wanted to let me
break
go.
down the
Let
other-
me
break down
finish.
the- I
He
just
was
wanna
going to
make sure-
fight Tepper, knock out
Okay.
Tepper, get the mandatory. Then that mandatory's there. Al Heyman's like, okay, now we have to send over our champion, who we had to invest a certain amount of money into. We didn't get our money back. No, we're going to vacate this belt. We're not willing to do this because we can't compete with them in a purse bid because they've got more money than us right now because they've got the Sky Sports budget.
Okay.
That's why that doesn't happen.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if Al does what I think he should have done and had Wilder knock out Charles Martin, you're saying that the Joshua fight comes up earlier than would have been ideal. In other words, Joshua would have become the mandatory before he had the other half of the title. Is that right?
Probably. Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
You're saying that
What he's saying is that the Charles Martin fight, or the unification undisputed, what you're describing was not worth what it was worth when you're proposing it would have, could have, should have happened. It
No.
wasn't worth that.
right.
No,
because
no,
Joshua would have been a
Doc, I wanna give
mandatory
you-
before undisputed. Right?
Doc, I want to give you an idea. The first time this fight ever, Wilder and AJ actually got properly kind of hyped up was after AJ beat Parker, right? And the
Yes.
very first offer Eddie was even willing to give, I want you to realize how much money was in boxing at this point. This is way before the zone, was $7.5 million. That's how much they were able to afford. That's more. That's how much they were able to afford. AJ would have gotten, I think it was 12.5. I think it was like 65-35. Right? Then after a little while, they were willing to give Wilder 15 million. AJ was getting 20, so that's what, fucking 55, 45, some shit like that. That's what they were trying to do because that's how much money was available. It wasn't until the zone. The timestamp in 2015, 2016 that you're seeing, the most amount of money a heavyweight was getting at that point was $2 million before Charles Martin got that $7 million per.
I have a question.
And this was outside of Klitschko. Because Klitschko didn't
Mark-
count in Germany with his gates.
Mark, I have a question. Is the son getting his money back now?
The son?
Is the son profiting from the boxing industry, or is still losing money?
What do you mean?
I
the son?
believe based on the trend, you have to assume that they're making money because they're expanding. If they weren't making money, they'd be shrinking. They'd be trimming the fat. But they have to be making money at this point because they just stepped into a bigger deal with Eddie Hearn than the one they had before. They're all the way committed to Matchroom now. There is exclusivity. So you have to assume that he has delivered. He has gotten them subscribers enough to where they're turning over a profit because they're not shrinking. They're expanding. Whereas look at the shoe on the other foot between Fox and the PBC. We are about 5 to 6 months into the year of 2021, and we still don't have a schedule. We know Spence and Pacquiao is going to happen, but what about Kovnowski versus Hellenius? What about Gary Russell Jr. versus Ray Vargas? What about all these other fighters that we're not seeing? We still don't have a schedule. We're still
They're
6
lagging.
So if you think about it, since PBC has joined Fox, they've trimmed the fat. They've cut the shoulder programming. You're not seeing as many cards on Fox by way of the PBC anymore. That tells me, okay, your budget got smaller, whereas their budget got bigger. So they must have delivered and you must have faltered, which is what I've been saying the whole time. There's no way you can promise Manny Pacquiao $20 million for the Broner fight and make money. Maybe Manny got the $20 million, but you lost money putting that pay-per-view on. You probably lost money on the Thurman pay-per-view too because he wants a minimum of $20 million. These pay-per-views ain't giving you that.
Okay.
Now,
The only thing we seem to disagree on, Jay, me and you directly, is whether or not Al should have spent the money. Right?
Al
So
didn't
Charles
have the
Martin-
money.
No. I'm just saying. But that seems to be the only point of disagreement. What do you mean? Whether or not he had the money is a whole separate discussion.
How?
Look, but it's basic math, right? I'm not trying to be fucking funny or nothing. Charles Martin got 7 million for fighting AJ. He was on the undercard of Wilder Spielka, yeah. He got 7 million for that fight. Wilder and Spielka got 1.4 million. That's a fifth of what Charles Martin's Porsche was. They didn't have that money.
They didn't. And remember,
I disagree. I think Al had the money. He just doesn't understand the game because he's
At
a
that
dumb
time-
fuck. He's a dumb
at that
fuck.
time,
I'm not.
Al
Hang on. I'm not putting Al over for the record. I'm calling him a dumb fuck. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is, right, and I need this to be, at this time with Showtime, this was the beginning going over onto Showtime. This was before Fox, whatever. They had 8 slots. They had 8 slots at that time. Their entire budget was 12 million. He didn't have that to blow on one fight, bro.
Thank you, because that's what I'm like. You have
Okay.
like
Now it gets complicated.
This is the perspective that you have to have, because this is the perspective that no one has, that no one says. All right? Wilder's highest purse at the time, he's offered $12.5 million from Eddie Hearn. His highest purse was about 1.2, 1.5 million. They offered you 12 times your highest purse. This is well before the zone got into it. 12 times your highest purse. They were Charles Martin you. That's what they were doing. It was Charles Martin and you. You didn't want to get Charles Martin. So you held out at a time when your highest purse is $1 million.
And if you want to say, and Jay, I'm with you. If you want to say that is how and why Al fucked up, and how and why Al is a fuck up in terms of being an American boxing promoter, if you want to hang on, if you want to say that's how and why he's a fuck up, I'm with you. The bottom line is we both agree he's a fuck up.
No. He's not.
Okay.
Now let me make this point. You keep thinking of these guys as if they're doing the same thing, and they're not. Eddie Hearn is in the business of making fights. Bob Arum, he's got something else going on. I don't know what it is. Al Heyman is not in the business of making fights. Al Heyman is in the business of getting a budget to keep his company afloat. It's not the same thing. If you're
right. They're all different. I agree. Because
if you're in the business of making fights and promoting fighters and making money off of boxing, I don't actually believe that Al's business is the business of boxing. At this point, I think it's just about staying afloat, getting different budgets from different. I mean, I've never seen somebody bounce around that much, from NBC to Showtime over to Fox and Spike. And I think they were on Bounce for a while. I'm like, yo, dude, like this dude been ho-hopping for the last 5 years.
I agree.
The only network you haven't fought on is Channel 7, ABC, and Channel 9, WPO, whatever the fuck it is. But you
shout out to Spike.
He was on Spike, bro. That's like when David Hay fought on Dave. You remember when David Hay had that card?
Dude, he had cards on Bounce. I remember. I know.
I'm like,
bro, David Hay fought on fucking Dave, bro. A rerun channel. Bro. It's literally a rerun channel.
Like,
it's literally. To be fair, I watched that David Hay fight again. I watched that David Hay fight last week for the 15th time on Dave on the reruns.
Listen, that's like when Austin Trout, he just had a card not that long ago on a Christian channel. They sing hymns and Bible verses on this channel. He's over there having boxing matches.
To be fair though, Jay. That gospel entrance was fire.
I'm just saying. So when you think about it, what really is Al Heyman's racket? Al Heyman's racket is gimmicks and receiving a budget from a network. That's the focus and the focal point of what he's doing. It's not about putting on boxing.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
And can't cheat belts.
Yeah, WBA baby belts.
Oh, he loves the WBA. I agree. I'm with you on that. They love the WBA baby. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what they got going on with Mendoza. I don't know what the fuck it is. They love them WBC or WBA baby belts. They love them.
Well,
they love
the way it breaks down between the WBA and the PBC is they know that the average boxing fan doesn't know which is which. Only degenerate boxing fans like us know which is which. You think the average motherfucker wait, think about it. Do you think the average motherfucker walking the street is saying that Medaliev, he's a bad motherfucker?
Jay, this is why boxing in America is fucked up, because guys like you and me, when we try to talk to our friends and we go, okay, let's talk some boxing, and our friends go, who's the heavyweight champion of the world? Who's the middleweight champion of the world? These are the glamour divisions.
You can't give them an answer.
Who's the lightweight champion? Heaven forbid they ask who the lightweight champion of the world.
I give them an answer, Chris.
No. You're gonna give them if they ask you who the lightweight champion of the world is. You're gonna get how many answers, Mark? 3, 4?
Right now.
Oh, okay.
Tank, Teofimo, Devin Haney.
Okay, so, and immediately, those casual sports fan friends of mine, I'm just talking about my friends, I don't know what your friends are like, my friends are going to go, okay, when are they fighting? And I'm going to go...
your friends are better than mine, bro.
And I'm going to go, and I'm going to throw my hands up and go, fuck, dude.
I'll be honest with you, your friends are better than mine. Because you have friends who walk up to you and say, hey, who's the heavyweight champion of the world? Bro, my friends don't ask me those questions. My friends don't give a fuck.
No.
I'm gonna tell
you
you what my friends do.
Yes.
Mark, when's Tyson Fury's next fight? Who's he fighting? When's Anthony Joshua's next fight? Who's he fighting? And that's it. Oh, Mark, is Manny Pacquiao still fighting?
Right. Well, but then see, I'm not.
Who's this Irish guy talking Spanish, Mark?
Okay. The questions that I get asked are pretty much the same questions you get asked. They're just the context. The context is a little different in the sense that as soon as I try to start answering those questions that you just presented, right? My friends' eyes start glazing over. They start they start looking at their phones. They start, you know what I mean? Suddenly they got to go home because the old they got to go to Walmart because the old lady just fucking texted them and said they got to get this, and this. The point is, they don't give a fuck. And this is why Al Heyman is a fuck up. God damn! I'm not the enemy. Go ahead.
Okay, now to the point you just made, this is the environment of American boxing for the last, let's say, 5 years, right? So do you think that in 2015, before Tyson Fury, no man can beat Tyson Fury, right? Before all of that, do you think Americans gave a rat's furry fucking ass Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder?
No, I don't. Jay, this is my whole point. This is what I've been saying. This is what me and I'm gonna tag in my buddy Beats, okay? Because he's been saying the same thing. The fucking problem is that for years and years and years, they had thrown the Klitschko's and by extension the heavyweight championship of the world thrown off the network. Nobody gave a fuck as a result. You understand? So by extension, that means you're not gonna get your money back immediately, right? When you fucking spend. So you said Eddie spent 7. Say Al spends 8. Right? For the Charles Martin Wilder fight.
Oh my God.
Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm gonna finish my point.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your stupid ass point. You don't know what the fuck.
No, it's a long-term fucking investment, okay? Fine. Fuck you and go ahead.
You're not getting it. There's no way. In hindsight, we've often visited that point that Al Heyman took the short money instead of the long money. The only reason. Now wait. Let me finish the point. See, we know because of hindsight that that's what happened. That's the only reason that we know that he took the short money instead of the long money, because it would have been a long-term investment. But when we get into why he did that, it makes sense that he didn't make Martin versus Wilder because nobody would have watched that fight. Nobody would have cared. All the money that's been poured into the heavyweight division, believe
I
it.
get Jay.
Wait. Let me finish. All the money that has been poured into the heavyweight division the last 5 years has everything to do with Anthony Joshua. That process is literally what led to where we are now. If you would have disrupted that, okay, so AJ doesn't fight Charles Martin for the IBF. Charles instead fights Wilder in America, where nobody gives a shit about heavyweight boxing at the time. Nobody's gonna watch this fucking fight.
I'm with you 100%. You're
gonna be in the red if you try to put this together. I mean, the only way I see that fight happening is you give Charles 1.5 and Wilder 1.5. That's the budget you had at the time. You didn't have no $8 million. You couldn't have afforded to give either of these guys $8 million. You can't spend
25% of your budget long.
Supposedly Al had millions and millions of dollars from his hedge fund. Okay? So fuck him and fuck his complaints about I didn't have the money. Shut the fuck up, Al.
You know what this day. Hang
on. Everybody, I want to make sure I'm making clear what you just said, Jay. Hang on, Leo. Real quick. It would have been a long-term investment. You're absolutely right, and Al would have had to have the insight, all right, to understand that it was a long-term investment.
No. Look, I'm gonna give you an example of what would have happened. No. Wait. I'm gonna give you an example of a literary iteration of how Wilder versus Charles Martin would have been received. Do you remember many years ago? I'll take you back to a time when two junior middleweights, one from Cuba, one from right here in the US of A, they fought a fight that no one watched. It brought in the lowest ratings of any main event that year. That fight was Lara versus Hurd. An excellent fight. Wonderful fight. I enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. The reality is nobody fucking watched it. Nobody watched it. It brought in the lowest, literally brought in the lowest ratings for any main event that year. That was not a big multi-million-dollar huge fucking fight, but on paper it looks good. The way Wilder versus Martin on paper would have looked good.
I agree.
Reality is nobody's watching this shit, bro.
No. I have. Go ahead.
Guys, I have a
Let me
question.
ask you this question, man. How does Al Heyman go from being a fuck up to having a hedge fund?
Well, this is the thing, Doc. This is the thing.
I mean,
he got fronted an obscene amount of money, right? He got fronted an obscene amount of money. Now, to this day, and I have my suspicions, to this day, I don't actually believe he lost all that money. I don't. That he could afford, because I look at just the numbers, and I'm like, there's just no way this guy's making money off this stuff. How is he paying these guys? And then I think to myself, the hedge fund. You found a way to make that money disappear, and you still have it somewhere. Because that's what I would have done. And I'm a thieving bastard. Well, I'm not a thieving bastard, but I am a bastard.
Fucking thief! I agree, he's a fucking thief. Now, if you're gonna be a fucking thief in the fucking land of thieves, all right, which is boxing, let's be honest, right? If we're looking into the long-term history, it's a fucking land of thieves. It's a land of fucking scummy motherfuckers. If you're gonna be that dude, fucking get your hands in control of at least half the fucking heavyweight title. If you don't understand that, you are a fuck up, in my view.
But
Al is hang on.
Heavyweight title. He
Go ahead.
has the heavyweight title. Why? Has it?
No, he had 1 quarter, and I know we're playing now. Now we're starting to play fucking.
Doc. All right, for perspective. All right, this is the issue that everybody has with the perspective that you have, right? All right, now here's why. Now, the heavyweight title, not that long ago, was in possession of Deontay Wilder, Al Heyman's guy, right? The event that they put on, in spite of all the effort, the joint pay-per-view, $4.5 million on 2 Super Bowl ads, right? All of that. The build-up, all of that, it still didn't make any money. How do I know? Bruce Trampler. He said they lost money on Fury versus Wilder 2. They lost. They're still losing money in 2021.
Which is why they should have, in the long term, the big picture, you take the fuck, like you said, it would have been a long-term investment. You put the fucking money into that goddamn Charles Martin fight, knock him the fuck out, because I hate to put Wilder over, but I'm going to put him over. As far as I'm concerned, 99 times out of 100, he knocks Charles Martin the fuck out.
That's what I was going to get at, Doc. How do you know that? How do you know?
I didn't say. I'm not saying nothing. Nothing. You're right. Nothing is 100%, and maybe that's why Al shouldn't be. Maybe this is why Al shouldn't be in the business because he's a fuck up.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. And I don't care who judges me. Right at that time, do we really know that Wilder would have won that fight? What if Martin would have won that fight?
I am not.
I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
No. I gotta go to Julius land.
Yes.
Charles Martin, because of his mouth, would have probably been a more like. Because I like Charles for what it's worth. I like him. He's fun. He's funny. Fuck boxing. Great shit. Great sound bites. He walks
this earth like a god. I get it.
He walks this earth like a god. Right? This guy, I see a situation where with Wilder
circumcised the heavyweight division with his lightsaber.
This is the beauty.
All I'm saying is the oxymoron or the point of contention is how could they have so much faith to make that investment in Wilder, right? When they didn't trust him enough to put him in there with anybody.
That's what I'm okay.
Put him in there with anybody.
There again, that would be from my point of view. I'm not talking for anybody else. I don't like. In fact, it's anathema for me to try and put words into the mouth of another man. All right, my personal point of view is. Absolutely! Wilder would knock Charles Martin the fuck out! Get the fuck out of here! Stop it!
I don't know that. He couldn't knock out a dehydrated Bermain Stavern.
Now hang on, hang on. If Al was not cognizant of that, that makes him a fuck up in my eyes.
All I'm saying is Deontay Wilder, and we know this to be a fact. Bermain Stavern wasn't, for whatever reason, I don't know why a heavyweight of all fucking heavyweight, I don't know why a heavyweight of all divisions would be dehydrated. I don't know what the fuck was going on with Stavern, but he went to the hospital. He was dehydrated in the Wilder fight. In spite of that dehydration, he did see the 12th round.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No. My God. This is important. Doc, I see what you're saying. You're telling all of us that if Wilder and Al Hammond plays their cards right, yeah, he will have that kind of career that Anthony Joshua had.
Okay.
That is what you're saying.
I'm glad. Leo, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because now you're making me think. No. You're I'm only saying it would have given Al a stronger stake in the heavyweight division, and having a strong stake in the heavyweight division gives you a strong. Hang on, let me finish. Having a strong stake in the heavyweight division gives you a stronger stake in the fucking sport as a whole. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, because I also think to myself, in all my wisdom, 2 belts for one guy who has the balance of a newborn baby deer, right? That's 2 mandatories.
Ooh. And one's IBF, to be fair.
IBF, right?
Yeah, one of them's IBF, so he's going to have to...
So you got to worry about the IBF. You also have to worry about the WBA. And we're expecting Bambi, of all people, to meet these records. No. You're crazy.
My man said Bambi.
You're crazy. Like, what are we expecting Wilder to be? Something different from what he's been? Like, no, look.
No.
Wait. Another point that I want to make is you notice that Wilder didn't really unify, right? Ask yourself a question. Do you think that Wilder is going to fight the Hergovics and the Yokas and the Makhmudovs and the Jalalovs when he fucking goes pro? These kinds of people. You honestly think that this is the guy?
No, I don't. All I am saying is he should have spent the money on the Charles Martin fight, and in the long term,
Wilder would have got beat sooner. That's
hang
why
on.
He did.
But hang on. It would have been in the UK, and it would have been for way more money than what he got out of the Fury fight. Now here's where we're gonna hang on. Okay, here's where we're all gonna fight.
He gets beat for $15 million in the UK in 2016.
Okay, so hang on. So you don't think that Eddie has the smarts and the wherewithal between him and his dad to make sure that Joshua fights fucking Vlad before he fights?
Listen.
Wilder was on commentary for that fight.
Wait. No. We're going on your schedule. Let's go on your schedule. Wilder picks up the IBF. Joshua becomes his mandatory, right? Two things happen. Either he drops that belt or he has that fight. Now, we already talked about what happens if he drops the belt. Let's say he has the fight. They'll get this guy.
Okay. So your argument, hang on.
They'll get this guy. They'll get this guy. $12, $15 million. He has the fight. He loses the fucking fight, and it never goes on to be a $50 million fight, $100 million fight.
So you're saying the AJ versus Vlad fight, which would be a key, which to be fair would be a key to my whole, as you say, and I'm not good with timelines. I'm not here to fucking.
Vlad doesn't come into it until after the IBF. So if Joshua stays on the IBF route, he would have been a mandatory challenger.
Okay. And so then at the very least the impetus would have been on Eddie in hindsight, where we're at right now. If they had done things differently.
You're describing an environment, right, where Joshua versus Wilder would have actually happened. And that's what you're describing. Okay, so if we go back,
that is fantasy. Hang on, I'm going to throw my hands up and go, Jay. You got. If you're going to tell me that's fantasy land,
not fantasy land. I'm just saying that the value of the fight, where the value of the fight is now, is not where it was a year ago, or a year before that, or a year before that. So if we go on your schedule, the fight will happen sooner, and it won't be worth as much money. So this long-term investment that Al would have made, it wouldn't have panned out, because your guy's going to get beat sooner, and it'll be for less money than the fight would have been worth years later.
Okay.
His business, wait a minute.
Fair. Yeah.
His business has been wrapping Deontay Wilder in bubble wrap behind 10 feet of concrete. That's always been the plan.
Deontay Wilder has had the best career possible right now.
He couldn't have had that career on Top Rank because he would have got beat.
Yeah. The only way he could have that belt for so many years is fighting two mandatories.
Literally.
Hey, now I gotta say, Leo, I strongly believe, if Bob Arum had control of fucking Wilder's career, he would have made that Charles Martin fight happen.
Yes, and he would have gotten no.
Whether he would have won or lost.
Let me talk to you. Can I talk to you? Let me tell you what happens if Bob has this guy.
Fair.
This guy gets beaten 10 fights. He don't become WBC.
That's fair.
No. Look. I love Dog Bay, right? I love Dog Bay. If Dog Bay was a PBC fighter, he'd still have the WBO. They never would have put him in the Navarrete fight. It wouldn't have happened if he was a PBC fighter. Now, the only way you could get a guy like Wilder to have 40-something. Well, really, he was a Golden Boy Promotions fighter for most of those fights. So let's limit it to the title reign because that's really the PBC years. The only way a guy like Wilder gets 10 title defenses and doesn't get beat is with the PBC Because if he's on gold, he's gonna get beat. If he's on top rank, no, he's gonna get beat. Look at Frank Warren.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me talk about Frank.
Warren doesn't give a fuck.
We know that Frank was a little bit more invested in Daniel than he was in Joe, even though they're both his fighters. But irrespective of that, he still made a 50-50 fight. He still made it. It was like, yo, one of your boys. You don't have to have them fight each other. You can sick them on the division separately. You chose to make them fight each other. All right, now, even under Frank motherfucking Warren, Wilder gets beat. Fucking under Eddie, no, he gets beat, bro.
Oh, hang on. Who outside of AJ beats Wilder?
Povetkin would have beat him. If it happened soon enough, Pulev would have beat him.
Ooh, now Pulev. That's a spicy
these
take.
are the guys. These are the guys that have been around for years. They've been right there with Wilder from 2008 till now. They've been there. These are the people that he didn't fight. So imagine you get a Wilder, 15-0 Wilder, right? You put him in there with Pulev. Oh, he's losing at 15-0. Bro, you getting dropped by Sconeers. If you getting dropped and put in trouble by Sconeers, Pulev would have beat you. Povetkin would have beat you. A game Samuel Peter would have beat you. But they didn't. They kept you away from all those people. You never had those fights. So that's basically saying that before the title, which didn't happen until 32-0, right? Before all of that, you were tenderoni, bro. You were tenderoni. They all over you like right on Under top rank.
For real, a Povetkin on pets? Shit.
Bro, Mike Perez fuck around would have beat this dude. Carlos Takam would have remember, we're talking about. Okay,
hang on. Luis Ortiz almost beat that dude.
This is not a 32-0 Wilder. This is not a 32-0 Wilder. This is a 20-0 Wilder or a 15-0. All right, 15-0 Wilder versus Takam. Who wins the fight? Takam.
Oh, dude, really? Are we that down? Are we that? I'm not trying to again. I'm not trying to put him over.
Remember what was going on at the time with Wilder? It was around that time he got put in trouble by Harold Sconeers. Harold Sconeers is 5'11"
with jorts,
or 6 feet or something. He ain't no big guy. So what you think would have happened if they put him in there with that Cameroonian with all that athleticism and all that grit? He'd have got all in Wilder's shit house. In other words,
hang on.
the only place where Wilder can reign for 10 title defenses as a champion is PBC Island. Because he gets beat at Top Rank. He gets beat at Matchroom. He gets beat at Queens. Yeah, he'll get beat because
okay. So you're saying, let me put you on the spot here, Jay. You're saying if he does what I think he should have done, in other words, what Al should have done, and taken that IBF title, and let's just hypothetically say he knocks out Charles Martin the way I think he does. You're saying the IBF, eventually one of those IBF mandatories is going to fuck him up. Is that what you're getting at? And if that's your point, fair. That's fair.
All right, let's put it this way. So let's say based on the order at that time, right? Wilder picks up the IBF from Charles Martin. Who goes on to become his mandatory? Could be Pulev. Maybe, and I'm not sure that he would beat that.
Pulev was in the mix. Pulev
was in the mix. Behind Pulev was Takam. So these would have been, along with whoever's over there.
No. You've got the timeline mixed up. When Martin held the belt, once he won it, there was no one at rank number 1, no one ranked number 2. The number 3 and number 4 were Erkin Tepper and Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua and Erkin Tepper was being lined up for a final eliminator by the IBF, but then Joshua got the fight with Charles Martin. Joshua was going to be Wilder's mandatory. That's why it never happened.
Okay. Which goes back to what I was saying a few moments ago. Was if you're telling me that if you're telling me that hypothetically, Al was a fuck up for not being cognizant of how much the fucking heavyweight division means. That's one thing. But on the other hand, it wouldn't have, it never would have led to Undisputed if what you're saying, in other words, if what you're saying is the case, Mark, right? In other words, what you're saying is the WBA would have never come up for fucking grabs between AJ and Vlad. The IBF would have come up first. Is that what you're getting at?
No, it wouldn't have, because when the title went vacant, the reason AJ got the shot with Vlad is because he was a title and had a title and they petitioned for it. AJ was ranked number 7 with the WBA at that time. AJ wasn't in that title picture at all. It would have actually been Vlad and Joseph Parker.
I'm going to condense
the
argument.
Okay.
I'm going to condense the argument in one sentence. The sooner you put Wilder in there with live bodies in this imaginary timeline, the sooner he loses. He doesn't go on. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. No. Doc. No. I'm just telling you. The sooner you put him in those fights that we're talking about with those fighters, he don't get to make $30 million with Fury. He don't last.
Yeah, once he faces top 10 opponents, forget it.
Well, then Al's still a fuck up as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry. He's still. He's a fuck up. He's a fuck up. I'm sorry. I'm
just telling you, Al, look, there's genius and there's fuckery in there, right? The genius is you managed to get this very limited heavyweight,
absolutely,
right? Around all these people. You got him around them, and you managed to convince some people that he's this, that, and you did. It's not everyone. It's not most people, but you did manage to get this guy in a position to where he made $30 million. $30 million. Guy who only has a right hand, right? No balance, no coordination, not much of a jab. $30 million for a guy like that.
Hey, let's not forget his team saying that he was a baby champion. And that
that's what I'm getting. That's exactly what I'm getting at, Dan. That even 7 years after debuting as a professional, they did not trust him to either bring money back or win high-level fights. You fucking fought Bermain Stavern, not Vladimir, not Povetkin, not Pulev, not
Charles Martin. Hang on, he didn't even want to fight Charles. This is what I'm trying to say, okay? maybe I'm crazy. To me, Bermain, I can't believe I'm going to put over Bermain Stavern. Bermain Stavern beats the shit out of Charles Martin, okay? As far as I'm concerned.
Look. I'll say this much. The genius of Wilder, which goes back to Mark's point, which he made, is they managed to get as much as they could out of this fighter. Because here today, he's almost 36 years old. He's one of the most limited heavyweights I've ever seen, right? But they did manage to get this very limited heavyweight who would have got, as I'm fucking telling you, dog, as soon as this guy would have fought a live body, forget about the 32-0. Anytime before that, he gets beat. But you guys have guided him in such a way that he actually went on to have a pretty decent payday. Not the biggest at the time, but $30 million for a one-handed fighter? It's not bad. That's not bad. Because if he was with Top Rank, they'd have threw him to the Lions like, bro, it's sink or swim, bro. We're going to find out what you are and what you ain't. And you'd have got found out. And no $30 million payday. No Joshua versus Fury. No Joshua versus Wilder. No Wilder versus fuck all that. You'd have got beat at 10-0. You'd have got beat.
Well, hang on. No. If we're doing the proper hypothetical, if he beats Charles Martin, right? Where's the WBA is really, and the WBO to a lesser extent, is where this all becomes, you know what I mean, important. So we're saying AJ versus Vlad doesn't happen? So does Wilder?
No. We're saying that AJ versus Vlad happens after AJ beats Wilder because AJ was en route. AJ was en route to become the man. So if we go by what you're saying, that Wilder unifies with Martin and beats and knocks him out, then Joshua becomes his mandatory. Eddie puts up the money, and he either takes the money.
Okay, and that's where. And hang on, I'm gonna throw my hands up and say that's where I was fucking up. I was looking at this as Wilder could have gotten his hands on half of the fucking heavyweight title, and meanwhile, AJ still would have gotten that Vlad or the Vlad fight and gotten his hands on half the time. You get where I'm? Do you see where I'm going?
I get it, but but I'm saying that the Vlad fight did not come into it until 2 fights. Vlad was the 3rd fight after he won the IBF title. He wins the IBF title. Right. He defends it against Brazil, and then he fought Vladimir.
Okay.
But if we go on a timeline where he didn't fight Charles Martin and Wilder ended up picking it up, okay, well then AJ's going to bump into him sooner. And then he's going to beat him, and the fight ain't going to be worth shit.
Because in other words, the IBF would have fucked all this up anyways. In other words, because
they would have ordered the fight.
Right.
So in that situation, why would that fight? Now think about it this way, right? Why would the AJ versus Wilder fight have happened sooner? Well, you have a choice now. You can fight a supremely experienced Vladimir Klitschko for the newly vacated WBA title, or you can fight this limited heavyweight who just won the IBF and the WBC. What are you going to choose? Let's go with this guy, and then we'll get Vlad afterwards.
Right. Fair. All fair. That's all fair. Again, I don't pretend to be like, the timeline master. I'm just like, fuck, dude.
I have a question about Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. When Joshua lose with Andy Ruiz, he was a PBC fighter?
Yes.
At that time?
Yes. Okay. But they had just signed him. He had 1 fight under the banner. It was like a tune-up fight. They had just signed him, and he was expendable like Brian Castano was expendable. Like the only reason they sent Brian over there to Golden Boy to fight for the title is because we ain't got nothing for you here right now. If you can go over there and bring that title back, then we'll have something for you. But right now, you're expendable. So
yes, yeah. My other question: that rematch clause was an immediate rematch clause?
Yes.
Okay, I see. So Joshua didn't have a chance really to fight or not fight because people were talking maybe 1 or 2 tune-up fights to fight Andrew Ruiz again, but he didn't have a choice.
No. It's not the only one that had a choice, right? The only one that actually had a choice was Joshua. Once you have the choice of either activating the rematch clause or not activating it. He chose to activate it. That was his choice. He could have said, you know what, I don't want to fight Andy again right away. Let me fight some tune-up fights. That was his choice. But he decided, no, I want Andy next. I want my belts back. So he didn't have a choice. It's just his choice was an immediate rematch.
Okay, but if he was to fight Andy Ruiz after 1-2 fights, the rematch clause comes in place?
No, see, basically the way it breaks down, the rematch clause that you put into the contract, right? You have a choice. You can activate it. You cannot activate it. If you choose to fight someone else instead of Andy and you don't activate the clause, all right, it's void now. We moved on. We've moved on. If he said, all right, I don't want to fight Andy next, let me get a tune-up fight. Okay, there's no rematch clause after that then. It's over.
But if he's not fighting Andy Ruiz at that time, immediately, he's not fighting Andy Ruiz at all.
Exactly. If he would have let Andy off the hook and says, well, I want a tune-up fight before I fight Andy for the second time. Okay, Andy's off the hook now then. You let him go. You may not get him back after that.
No, it's not getting him back. He's on PVC.
Exactly. You don't get him back. Why do you think they were trying to Leo, why do you think they were trying to sabotage it and give them a hard time that no, we're gonna do it in Mexico. We're not going to Saudi Arabia. No, it has to be here. No, I'm the A side now. I won the fight. Don't you think they were giving them a hard time?
Because that was a fuck up. Al fucked up. All right, what he should only it wasn't until fucking Ruiz showed up at 450 fucking pounds at the weigh-in that Al finally fucking realized, oh, maybe I should have taken this fucking whole thing a little more seriously.
Hey man, boxing is a fun, fucking weird, fucking annoying, fucking sport.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's just lying. Boxing is like a family member that you don't fucking like, but you still like, but they family, so you put up with them. Because it's like, man, look, man, we ain't getting Spence versus Crawford. not right now. We ain't getting no undisputed right now,
bro. I'm gonna go a step further, Jay. Boxing is like a baby mama, okay? You gotta deal with that shit, right? You gotta deal with that shit. You got all this extemporaneous bullshit that you have to deal with, right? You have to.
But you put up with it. But you put up with it, and I'm not gonna say a baby mother because motherfuckers will leave a baby mother in a heartbeat. I'm gonna say boxing is like a wife. Because you deal with it out of love, like God, man.
Oh, okay. It's a wife, or it's a hoe, or it's a hardcore hoe. One of the other.
No, it's not. It's not a hoe because you with that hoe and all of that. You want to be there. There's shit in boxing that you don't want to deal with. Like I don't want to deal with Gilberto Mendoza.
You're right. A hoe would be smart. Hang on, real quick, Neil. A hoe would be smarter than Deontay Wilder. In other words, that's what I'm saying.
All right, gentlemen, I am exhausted.
I've done it. I'm done. I'm sorry, Jay. If I've
I'm just sleepy. Gentlemen.
Final question. Hey, final question before we all get out of here. What's your prediction if Donaire and Inoue have a second fight?
Inoue gets him better.
Ooh.
He gets him better. Gentlemen.